want to focus on another aspect, and this is over whether Rahul Gandhi now will face disqualification because of the fact that he has been convicted. Let's break down for you what exactly the norm says. Now, if someone is convicted, Rahul Gandhi faces immediate disqualification as Wayanad Member of Parliament because he's been convicted by a court. And usually the norm is 2 years or more, then you go ahead and face that kind of conviction of being disqualified as an MP. Now, beyond that also, what we have to tell you is that because of this, as per the norm, the disqualification could last up to 8 years. This is for the term of imprisonment delivered by the court plus another 6 years. So in all, Rahul Gandhi may face an 8-year ban from polls. Let's also tell you that as far as this disqualification rule is concerned, it comes into play after a certain amount of period. So Rahul Gandhi has about 30 days time when he has to move the Sessions Court and stay this conviction if he hopes not to get disqualified as an MP. So he's going to be doing that immediately. The disqualification is imminent, will happen if the Sessions Court doesn't provide any relief to Rahul Gandhi and instead upholds what the Surat court has said. Their ruling of holding Rahul Gandhi guilty of making defamatory comments. Now remember that as far as in fact the defamation and the disqualification rule is concerned, this is based also on a ruling from the Supreme Court because it says clearly that the law is that the disqualification happens from the day of conviction. So essentially for Rahul Gandhi, it starts today. The fact is that because he immediately took legal steps, right now there's going to be a period when Rahul Gandhi doesn't face that kind of action. But let's also tell you right now that the Supreme Court's 2013 ruling cleared immediate disqualification. The top court made it very, very clear that there will be no compromise when it comes to having any convicted member of parliament. So they said immediately they have to get disqualified. An example in this case is AZAM Khan's son, who was disqualified as the Uttar Pradesh MLA after conviction. It led to fresh elections also. But that is one particular example that many have been quoting to say that Rahul Gandhi does face a very serious threat of being disqualified. But let's take this across to our legal editor, Nalini Sharma, for more details. Nalini, break down for us exactly what the Supreme Court has said on the disqualification of members of Parliament, of members of the Legislative Assembly. What happens when they get convicted in a case? Is it immediate disqualification? How is it that then Rahul Gandhi isn't immediately disqualified?
Well, Akshita, to understand this, we have to understand the finer aspects of the Representation of People's Act. Now, Section 8 of the RP Act essentially talks about certain offences for which any sitting member of the Parliament or any legislator for that matter can in fact be disqualified. If none of those offences are met, then for any other offence where the punishment is greater than 2 years, 2 years or greater than 2 years, the sitting legislator can be disqualified in accordance with the Representations of People's Act. Now, prior to 2013, which is when this Supreme Court judgment of Lily Thomas that we are talking about came into being, there was another clause in Section 8 that had allowed for a 3 months grace period after the conviction had happened and before the disqualification proceedings started. This grace period was given so that the conviction or the order of the court could be challenged by the legislator. But from the 2013 judgment of Lily Thomas, the Supreme Court struck down Section 8 Clause 4 of the Representation of People's Act, and what they essentially said was that your disqualification will become active on the day that the legislator has been convicted. Important to highlight over here, Akshita, we're not talking about sentencing, we're talking about conviction. So because the conviction has happened today, Rahul Gandhi can in fact disqualification proceedings against him can be initiated today itself. He has an option of appealing before the Sessions Court and ultimately the High Court and the Supreme Court. And if a stay is granted, then of course his disqualification proceeding and the further ban that can be imposed on him, both of them will be stayed in accordance with the RP Act.